All right, welcome out to the Gridiron 64 podcast, episode still number 58. This is part two. This is the preview. This is where we'll preview week number 4 of the GI 64 schedule, football schedule. There's 10 games on our list and 2 state games, one that TJ picks and one that Tony picks. So we're ready to get started. On the screen, I got the crew, TJ Riddle, McGriddle, Riddell, and Tony Big T Pena. Guys, if you're ready, let's go. Let's hit it off with game of the week. For week number 4. That's the Cuero Gobblers taking on and traveling to Calallen to take on the Wildcats. It's going to be a good one. Last year, Calallen got the win, but this year, I don't know. Cuero undefeated. Calallen's already got one loss bet coming on in the last 2 weeks. Tony, I'll go to you. You got Cuero or Calallen?
I got Calallen, simply because of the win they had last week against Flower Bluff. Like we said, Flower Bluff is one of those teams that tends to start late, but they did have a big win in week 1 over Boerne, and then lost their next 2 games, one of them being to Calallen. So I'm gonna have to go with Calallen in this one.
Woo. TJ, who do you got?
All right, already disagreeing right off the bat. I got the Gobblers easy in this one, 45-27.
Wow.
Calhoun's lost a lot on defense. Cuero is a more veteran and seasoned team heading into this game. And, I mean, Nataro is one of the best quarterbacks that Calhoun will see this season. And also you got Gibbs, who had a terrific performance last week, and also Varela. You got to watch out for Varela as well. He's gonna be a big key component for the Gobblers in this game, and also Jackson. Keep in mind, Jackson's still a very dangerous player. So I got the Gobblers winning big, 45-27 in the game of the week.
All right, guys. As you guys know, I'm not going to be making my picks on the Gridiron live or on the recording that we're doing here. I'm going to write it down tomorrow. I already got my list. I'm going with you guys too, but I'll put it on maybe tonight. I might just add my list there, so it'll kill a little bit of time. But I do got my pick already, and I'll let you guys know. It'll be on the Gridiron 64 Facebook and Twitter page. Next game on the GI 64 week 4, you have the Edna Cowboys coming off a 1-point loss to Refer. So they'll be hungry to get a win. They're going to take on the Sinton Pirates. Now, we talked about the Pirates. Pirates still trying to, find their rhythm here. Quarterback, we know he's going to be good, Hans, but he's still young. He's still learning. Coach Troutman said, hey, we still got a work in progress. Well, they're going to take on probably the toughest team they faced so far. And they face Beeville, they face Calhoun, but this will probably be the more athletic team and the best quarterback they've seen thus far. So, TJ, I'll ask you, do you got to sit in Pirates? They're playing at home in Sinton, or are you going to take the road team, the Edna Cowboys?
Well, I thought that Edna was playing at home.
I'm sorry. No. Well, Max Prep, that's what I thought. I had one that said at Edna, and then Max Prep said Sinton, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
you can check it if you want.
Let me go on.
Yeah, I had it like that too. I saw it. Then I checked Max Prep, and they had it the other way. So I was like, okay, let me switch it. But I thought it was at Edna.
Yeah, 1 second. Sim Pirates football schedule. No, they are playing at home. So, okay, so I got my stuff wrong. But number 15, Edna, traveling to Sinton, a very hostile environment. You got Jaden Clay, Kate Rodas, Braylon Harris, and Jacob Reyes, who I think is a very intricate part of that offense. But like you said, very young team in Sinton, and they're probably facing the best offense that they've ever seen. And I gotta tell you this, guys. Edna looked good against Refugio. I'm gonna stick with Edna in this game. 38-28. I think it's gonna be a closer game than last year. Tristan Hansen, he's slowly improving as a passer. Just over 500 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception this season. But if the key for Sinton to win is Garcia running the ball and to bring pressure to Clay, because he can run the ball too. Clay can run the ball, and also stopping Rodas would be an ideal game plan as well, because he's one of those smaller backs that has a lot of power to him and has speed. But I'm gonna go with the Cowboys 38-28 in this one.
Tony, I'll tell you, I think TJ's right. I think that Sinton's going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively to have a chance. But I just think that Sinton's defense is going to have some problems with Edna and Clay in that offense. Your thoughts, and who are you taking?
Yeah, like I said a while ago, I think if I was a Sinton Pirates, I would start to try to figure out what our identity is. They have a pretty balanced offense between passing and rushing,
Yeah.
but just did not. I mean, I don't want to say they didn't do well the last game, because they did have some good things happening against a very good Calhoun team, who we think is a very good Calhoun team this season.
Yeah.
They did have some sparks of some having some good play, but just because they already have 2 losses, I'm concerned. I think that Edna coming off it's not even an upset. I mean, if you're Edna and you lose by 1 in double overtime to refer you, it's a win. I mean, if I'm a fan,
Not
I'm
just
like, hey,
lose, not just lose, but right there had a chance to win
yeah,
loss. You
I,
know?
I, that's enough for me to pick Edna in this one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be closer than last year, but uh,
What's your
I,
score prediction on this game? You thinking about 10 or
I,
less?
I'm not doing any field goals. I'll say 21-14. Edna.
Wow, that low?
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be
Hey.
tough.
Guys, I'll say this. I think I think it's going to be a bigger score, but that's just me. But
Yeah.
I do think though, if Sinton loses this game, but it's competitive, something like if they play Edna the same way they played Calhoun and take the loss, I think that's still something that, come Monday morning, Troutman can say, look at the state ranked team. And look, we lost by 10.7 points. It's still in some ways a win for Sinton. Now, if Sinton gets the win, that's awesome. But I'm telling you, they're chipping away, playing these good teams, and it's making that defense for Sinton a lot better having to face these offenses. So I think it's going to pay dividends somewhere down the road. But if they get blown out, that might be a little different of a story.
Yeah.
The next game, game number 3 on the GI 64 schedule for week 4, you have the Calhoun Sandcrabs. They're going on the road, traveling to play the Yoakum Bulldogs. T, I'll go to you. Yoakum or Calhoun?
Yeah. So this is another one that was hard to pick, just because both of these teams had really good performances last week. And what I mean by that is Yoakum really was in a slugfest against Cuero, even though they did take the loss, and then Calhoun powering through and giving Sinton the L last week. Even though I feel like Calhoun is going to be a better team this season, and I think that their win over Sinton is not as convincing to me as Yoakum's loss to Cuero. So I got Yoakum winning this one, and a close one.
Yeah,
Close
Yoakum's
one.
pretty
This is gonna
good.
be a
Yeah,
defensive game.
Yoakum's gonna be good. TJ,
I don't know about defensive game, but like okay, so Taylor, he threw his first 2 interceptions against Cuero last week, and they still lost by 7. Okay. 31 for 55, 658 passing yards in the entire season, 9 touchdowns passing this season. Xavier Barnett, he's a big target. He's already got 321 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns already. I think they're gonna have trouble with the pass defense against Yoakum. Port Lavaca is. But I think Yoakum's gonna have trouble with that run against Port Lavaca. So I think it's gonna be a little bit more high scoring. But I think Yoakum's going to pull away in this game 40-28. I got Yoakum.
All righty. Game 4 on the GI 64 schedule. Now you've got the GP Wildcats traveling to Boerne to take on the Greyhounds. And the interesting thing here is Boerne lost their quarterback, I think, in week 1. So if I heard correctly, Boerne is starting a freshman quarterback, or they were doing pretty good, but he's a freshman. He's still got a lot to learn. And now he's going to go play against a really good defense in the GP Wildcats. Really, when you talk about Gregory Portland, they're really rounded well this year, both offensively, defensively, special teams. They're just good everywhere. TJ, are you taking the road team, the Wildcats, or are you going to go the home team in Boerne?
All right, let's talk about their players first. Like you said, there's starting quarterback right now is a freshman, Hendricks, number 41. So we got a quarterback that's number 41. 21 for 33, 322 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception with a QBR of 113.4. He's facing off against Reed Dooms, who's 35 and 70, 600 passing yards, 5 for 2 on touchdown interception ratio, 91.4. Now, this is where I feel like GP has an advantage, and that's the run game. Juarez and Adami are the 2 biggest weapons on that offense. It's not Reed Dooms like we all thought it would be. No, it's Juarez and Adami that's the biggest weapons on this team. And then you have Colby Harrison, Air Force commit. His brother just got out of the hospital, by the way, guys. So we're glad to hear that Ryder is back in school. Hopefully get back on the field healthy, and hopefully he could be fine. But now back to this game. You got TJ DeMint, who I've been keeping my eyes on for the past couple seasons now. 52 carries, 433 yards, 8.3 yards per carry with 6 touchdowns. So he's helping out little Hendricks, while older Hendricks, he's just a monster on the defensive side. 38 total tackles and 2 sacks. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than what everybody thinks. But I'm going to go with GP. I think GP is going to be 4-0. 36-34.
Next game on the 64.
You forgot Tony.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead, T. My bad. I thought I went to you first. Go ahead.
Yeah.
See, this one kind of throws me off because I would think Boerne would give GP a really good game. But GP beat Calallen, and Calallen whipped on Flower Bluff. But Flower Bluff beat Boerne. So because of that, all that stuff that happened in the first 3 weeks, I feel like GP is going to win this one convincingly. I don't think it's going to be as close as TJ thinks it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it because Boerne doesn't have their starting quarterback for one, and for two,
that's the other factor.
Like you said, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think, so to me, it's like I said, the long road for GP. It's hard to travel, long distances, and plus Boerne has a good home crowd. So I think that's going to play into factor too, and DeMint helps out Hendricks a lot by running the ball quite a bit. And also he's a really good check valve just in case if anybody's covered. Hendricks, I know he's less experienced, but he can throw the ball to DeMint, So go through your progression and then drop it to DeMint. He's gonna have to be that guy for Boerne, in my honest opinion, DeMint. But
and just to add, a season ago, Boerne did end up defeating Gregory Portland 52-27. So it's pretty large
But
margin, almost double the points. So we'll see.
but who did they have? They had Jackson Bays. They had Braden Bays for Boerne. So
Yeah, well,
they don't
we
have
could say the same thing for GP because GP had quite the roster. They had what's that running back's name?
they really don't have, like, Boerne doesn't have
They
the
had Bats.
talent.
They had Bats last year.
Yeah, they had Dalvin Bats, but he fumbled the ball quite a bit
They
against
had
Boerne. So
Dubose. They had Dubose at receiver. That Harrison, who's returning this year. I mean, they had a pretty good squad last year on GP. So,
I think that Boerne lost a lot more than GP did. That's for sure. That's a true fact.
especially this season, you're losing your
Yeah,
starting
this
quarterback.
season.
That's tough.
Yeah, this season. So, and also you don't have that older brother, Braden Bays, who was just killing GP. I was at that game last year. Just absolutely torched the Wildcat defenders, and now that you don't have Jackson Bays, it's hard to say that Boerne's going to win this game. But I still think they're going to put up a fight against GP like they did with Flower Bluff.
Yep.
We shall see. We shall see. Next game on the 64, you got the Beeville Trojans traveling to Somerset to play the undefeated Bulldogs. Beeville's been playing really good. Somerset playing good.
Mhm.
TJ, who do you got, man? You got Beeville or Somerset?
This is another case of difficult road. Well, probably less challenging than what GP has to go through. Both teams are undefeated. I think Beeville is underrated. You got a very good quarterback with Sestacia, who is 32 for 43. So he's only got 11 incompletions with 549 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this far in this season. 154.9 on his QBR. And then you have Espinoza, Perez, and Arredondo, who can run and catch the ball. So Beeville is going to be very challenging to Somerset, but Somerset is number 10 in the state in 4A Division 1. Okay, guys. And Somerset is a tough cookie to beat, which is why I have the Bulldogs from Somerset beating Beeville 42-35. I still think Beeville is going to put up a fight, but I just think at the end of the day, Somerset they just have the better team overall, you know. So I don't have any stats on Somerset, but they're legit. They're legit number 10.
Tony?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Somerset as well. A year ago when these two teams faced each other, there was a 43-22 win, 43-22 win for Somerset. I think somewhere around that realm, the 2 touchdown realm is probably what we'll see again this season.
All right. You guys will know who I pick here in just a bit. When we end this podcast, I'll be putting down my picks on the Gridiron 64 Facebook and Twitter page. Next one on the 64. Yeah, the Alice Coyotes traveling to Flower Bluff to play the Hornets. This is where we separate, guys, because who are you going to pick, right, Tony? Who do you got? You got a struggling Flower Bluff team. We know they're good. They got a great quarterback, right? But we know they have not been playing up to their potential, at least in my eyes, right? They have not been playing the way I thought they'd be playing going into week 4. Then you got Alice, you got a new coach, a good coach, but you got a new coach in Castellano out there, offensive coordinator, Cox coming from Imperial. So they got the coaching over there. We know that. But it's going to take some time to put that system in place. Who gets the win in week 4? Will it be the home team, the Flower Bluff Hornets, or will it be the road team, the Alice Coyotes?
Yeah, I don't see Flower Bluff losing this game to Alice. These two teams always face each other very tough. I know last year Hornets went into Alice to face them, and Let's see. I had it just up a minute ago. See. Yeah, this was 21-20 last season. This is a very close game. These two teams face each other very well. Um, they're both two passing attack teams. Uh, Alice always finds a quarterback. Of course, they had uh Cutter. Cutter was there last season, correct?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So they
Yes.
had Cutter. They recruited Cutter last season. And then we talk about Pelucio all the time from Flower Bluff, or we have been talking about him recently this season. So I think it's gonna be another close one. But I think from what I seen from Flower Bluff, I'm not real convinced, but I'm gonna go with the Hornets to win this game in another close battle.
TJ.
I thought you and me were gonna disagree. I got Flower Bluff winning 45-42. I think this is where usually Flower Bluff turns their season around anyway. I don't know why, but Alice is that kid that Flower Bluff decides to pick on and then starts picking on the rest of the kids in the schoolyard. But it's gonna be a tough battle for either team, because they have really good talents where uh Alice has Gonzalez 46 for 217 rushing yards, averages almost 5 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. But my biggest issue is Cruz, 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's not a very good ratio to start off the season, So I just think that Flower Bluff is going to make a turnaround here. So I got the Hornets winning 45-42.
Listen, Flower Bluff should beat Alice by 3+ touchdowns because they have the more talented offense, right? The thing with Flower Bluff is they lost like 4 linemen. And I said in week 1 when they played Boerne, that was my concern. That's why I picked Boerne because of the line. I didn't know how good that line was going to hold up, but they did pretty good enough to beat Boerne. Boerne lost their quarterback in that game, right? So now Flower Bluff's kind of struggled a little bit. I'm wondering if that line has something to do with it because they're new. 4 of those linemen are new this year. How young are they? I don't know. And so I think when you play them against Alice, they are the more talented offense with the quarterback, with the receivers that he has, right? They should be able to beat them. So if they lose to them, then I'm really concerned. If Alice goes into Flower Bluff and beats Flower Bluff, I'm concerned. I'm real concerned for Flower Bluff now. I don't know if they'll be able to turn it around. They should be able to win by 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. But we'll see how all this plays out right for Alice. But Flower Bluff, because of what I think they have offensively, and they have the better quarterback, and this is where they have to get back on track and win big against Alice. We'll see if that happens. Next game on the 64, you got Jasper Bulldogs traveling to the Franklin Lions. This is 2 teams that are not from this area, but we do pay attention to Franklin. And so, Tony, I'll go back to you. You got Franklin, or you're gonna go with Jasper?
This one was a tough one for me. Franklin has been a powerhouse for the past several years. I think they're currently ranked number 4, which is probably the lowest ranking they've had in a few years. And then Jasper is one of those teams that's usually in the top 10. I didn't check their ranking this year. TJ, did you check Jasper's ranking?
Jasper's number 8 and Franklin's still number 1.
Number 1, I got number 3 earlier. What was I looking at?
Probably looking at the wrong team, bud.
Okay.
Because they're number 1 in 3A Division 1.
Okay. And Jasper was number 8, you said?
Number 8 in 4A Division 2.
Yeah. So this is a David and Goliath type game. You got the 4A versus the 3A. Franklin is a smaller town than Jasper. Jasper is a small town, but Jasper is not as small as Franklin. Franklin's a little, maybe too light town, maybe. But they've been winning state for the past couple of years at least over there in Franklin. I'd like to go with Jasper because of the size. But I'm really convinced that Franklin is going to win this game, so I'm going to go with Franklin.
TJ?
I got Franklin winning 49-20.
Oh, that big?
That big.
Wow.
All right, next game on the 64, you got the Albany Lions traveling to Hawley to play the Bearcats. Who do you guys got? TJ, I'll go to you. Albany or the Bearcats from Hawley?
So Albany and Hawley both are ranked in the top 10 in 2A Division 1. Or actually Albany's ranked Division 2 in 2A. That's the number 1 team in front of Mart. Number 6, 2A Division 1 Hawley, who's 2-1. I don't know, man. I think Albany's gonna run through Hawley in this game. I got Albany winning 42-20.
Tony?
So you're going 42-20 to the team that ran through Refugio just a few months ago in state.
Yeah, they lost.
So
They lost a couple of guys, Tony. It's
Hmm.
not the same Hawley team that we all looked at this past September,
And I was there. I was
Hey,
there
Albany put
I
it
was
on
there in
Mart.
December.
Hey, Albany put it on Mart, and Mart's a better team than Refugio. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm being real.
So you're giving
I'm giving
Albany
Albany the
20
win
more
because
points.
Albany's the better team, and they are the better team.
Yeah, I picked Albany anyways. I just wanted to get you fired up.
Yeah,
I know.
Hawley is not the team that they were last year. I don't know. They might still be good, but they're definitely not what they were
They're still good.
last year.
They just don't have the resources that they had last year. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, and Albany's a tough team. I mean, look what they did to Mart last year, and Mart was supposed to win state. Everybody had Mart winning state, not Albany.
I had Albany.
Maybe one person from Albany voted for Albany. I don't know about that.
All right,
I don't
guys.
remember.
Next game on the 64, you have the Taft Greyhounds visiting the Pickers from Robstown. Robstown 0-3. They have not won a game. A little bit disappointing, right? Because we thought they were going to be better. They had a lot of players, if not all of their players, coming back from last year. They got great coaching out there. They have not been able to put up a win. Taft struggling a little bit. Got their first win against Skidmore the last 2 weeks. They have really fallen, and that offense is really struggling. Can Taft get back on track, or will Robstown win their first game of the season? TJ?
Are you sure Robstown and Taft are on this list?
Yeah. The
No,
list he sent out today.
I put them on.
Oh, I wrote down a wrong team, I guess. Oh man, this is a live prediction here. Look, Taft has done poorly offensively in the last couple of games against Mathis, who I think overpowered them, and then Three Rivers, who I think is a much improved team from the last couple of seasons. Then you got Robstown, on the other hand, who barely lost to Kingsville by 3, who I think is improved. Robstown just hasn't looked the same. It's not a real appealing game, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Give me the Pickers to win. 17-14.
Tony?
Yeah. I mean, if you'd asked me in week 1 who I thought would win this game, I would have Taft hands down. Because of the way Taft has performed the last 2 weeks, it got me on the fence about this game. Even though Robstown is 0-3, their game against Jones just shows that they fight all the way through. They were down 35 to 7 at the half, and they come back and score 1 unanswered points in the second half. They don't win the game, but they hold Jones, they hold Beeville to just 2 touchdowns and they score 3 of their own. So that shows me that they have a spark and that they'll play 4 quarters of football. I'm gonna go with Robstown. I think Robstown's gonna get their first win against Taft, and I'm on the fence about that. If anybody from Taft's watching, I mean, I'd like to see Taft turn their season around right now in this game, and this is the game it has to happen in. You play a bigger team. This is the team. This is the game that it has to happen. Has to
Yeah.
happen in, against Robstown. But even having said that, I have Robstown getting their first win against Taft Friday night.
All right. The last game, game 10 on the 64. Before we go to the state games, will be the CC London Pirates traveling to Kingsville to take on Brahmas or the Brahmas. How do you say it? Brahmas? How do you say it?
Brahmas.
The Brahmas.
I'd say Brahmas. Everybody else says Brahmas. It's like tomatoes, potatoes. I don't know.
Tony, let's see. You taking the Pirates? You taking Kingsville?
I think that Kingsville is on an upward swing, but I don't know if I could bet against London. Now, in the beginning of the season, I talked about London struggling because of the way they performed last season, but I feel like London doesn't do that 2 seasons in a row. They're 2-1 now. With a pretty convincing win over Orange Grove a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I'm lying. What am I on? Let's see, Bishop, Refugio, Orange Grove.
Yeah, they had a convincing win over Orange Grove.
I have London playing Carroll.
You might be on the wrong division there, but
London Pirates, right? I have them playing
but
Carroll next week. I have them playing Carroll this week.
Check it out.
Is that
Maybe I
wrong?
got it wrong. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I got it wrong. I don't know.
TJ, what do you got?
Shoot, let me see real quick.
Because this changes things for my pick.
Yeah, right. London Pirates football, varsity football. Oh, they do have Carroll on here. What the heck? They have Kingsville next week.
My bad. Okay, let's go,
no.
Carol.
Okay.
What the heck?
But it says
Okay,
Tuesday.
so-
But it says it's a Tuesday game. It's on the 12th. So that can't
That's
be
their
right.
JV game.
Yeah.
That's their JV game.
Yeah,
I wonder.
it is Kingsville on the 14th. It is Kingsville.
So yeah, okay, it is Kingsville.
Okay. All right. Okay, well then I'll go back to my original pick. Because I would have picked Carroll in that game. But yeah, I think Kingsville's on an upward upward stride towards being a better team than they have been in the past several years. But like I said, I don't think London has 2 bad seasons in a row. I just don't see it in them to do that. And I'm gonna go with London in this game.
Woo, TJ.
It's gonna be a good game. It's very, very hard to pick, to be honest, because honestly, I did not see this list until just now. Because I have 2 other games that I had on tap with Westlake and Lake Travis and Ingleside and Rio Hondo. All right. So London and Kingsville. London had a very convincing win over Orange Grove, but Kingsville had a pretty good game against Ray. Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with London. And it's gonna be a 28-17 victory.
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think this.
I think so
gonna
too.
be a
I just
good
think
game.
I think London's gonna pull away.
And
that's-
these 2 teams are down the road from each other. Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
In
They're
a
not too
way,
far.
yeah.
They're not too far. All right, guys. Now we're gonna go to the state games. Number 11. Who's got this one?
I had this game.
All right, you go and take over.
All right, so I got number 7 Celina traveling to play number 3 Anna in this first state game. These two teams played a year ago, and I know TJ says you can't go by last year,
No,
but
you
I
can't.
like looking at last year. I know, look, I believe in these programs that when we pick these teams in the state, these are teams whose programs year after year after year, they just
You
have
can,
talent.
yes, but you have to look at the future too. Who are they going to lose? Who are they going to bring back? And that was part of my argument with Hawley and Albany right there. So,
Well, these two teams played a year ago, and Anna takes the win by 3, 28-25. I think this is going to be a really good battle. This is going to be a really, really good. These are both 4A. I want to say
Division 1.
Division 1, yeah. 4A Division 1 teams in the top 10. Celina gets this win, they move up. Anna gets this win, they move down. I don't think Anna moves down enough for Celina to get ahead of them, but they definitely move up, and Celina moves down to, closer to number 1, or closer at least to number 5. But having said that, I think the stakes are higher for Anna. If they lose this game, I think Anna's gonna win it, and I think it's gonna be another slugfest. I think it's gonna be close.
You ain't going to like what I have to say. I can tell you that right now. So Anna's playing at Celina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Celina is very historic, and Anna's been relevant for the past 5 to 10 seasons. They have a decent team. Not gonna lie. But Celina, on the other hand, they have put up points and Anna has not. So that tells me that Celina really doesn't have a very good offense compared to what Celina has. Give me Celina 56-21.
Wow. They only won by 3 points last week, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the previous 2 games beforehand, and they actually played a really good team. Who has Anna played?
Decatur.
Decent, not bad, but decent.
And then they blanked Aubrey last week.
Aubrey ain't that good.
Okay.
They've been irrelevant.
All right. I can't wait to see who Gabriel picks.
Well, you'll see him tonight. You'll see him tonight. I'll put him on there. You'll be surprised. And then TJ, we got the last one. That's yours. Go ahead and go, bud.
Yes, sir. So we have a former coach that went to Miller, or he graduated from my school, Ingleside, coached at Miller, and this past offseason he left to go to this school. Crowley, 6A, playing in their first district game against Weatherford at Weatherford. So you got the Crowley Eagles taking on the Weatherford Kangaroos. Crowley's undefeated. They started off 0-3 last year. This season they're 3-0. Weatherford, they're 2-1. They have a really good quarterback, Williams, number 10, 44 for 68, 535 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick, QBR of 122.2. Green, 19 carries, 105 yards, or 19 catches, 105 yards, and averages 5.5. Oh, those are runs. I'm sorry. I forgot to label that, but 5.5 rushing yards. He doesn't have a touchdown, but Williams is also a dual threat, so watch out for that. Ellis, 8 catches for 140 yards with 2 touchdowns, and then Tasby Jr. This kid's very intriguing. 10 catches for 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then on the other hand, you got Weatherford's running back Polk, who I think is a very big part of that offense. 53 carries for 342 yards, averages 6.5 yards with 3 touchdowns. Holder, he's got 13 receptions, 263 receiving yards, 20.2 receiving yards per catch, 3 touchdowns. And then McClure, 16 receptions, 212 receiving yards, and or 16 rushes, 212. God, I forget to label these. 16 receptions, 212 receiving yards, 13.5 or 13.3 with 1 receiving touchdown. And then they got Thornton. They've had, so to me, Weatherford does a lot of gadget plays, but their starting QB is Thornton with 21 with 28 pass attempts and completions. So he's only had 7 incompletions so far this season. 304 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, QBR of 149.4. This matchup is intriguing to me. Matt McHugh's up there as the offensive coordinator over there in Crowley. They've really done a good job up there, and they have a really good coach up there. Give me Crowley 38-20.
Tony? Can't hear you.
I'm looking at stats while he was talking. I was looking at stats because I had Crowley, and then I started looking at Weatherford and I don't know if they're trying to find the best fit for quarterback or what they're doing, but they got 6 guys throwing the ball. One of them, I mean, all of them are over 60% with the exception of one. So they only got 8 TDs, but between all 6 guys, they only got 2 interceptions, for 713 yards combined. So I like what they're doing over there. They got that running back that TJ mentioned. It's got 3 TDs. He's got 200 plus yard games. Man, rushing the ball 6.5 yards a carry. I had Crowley, but man, I really like the stats from Weatherford. I'm changing my pick from Crowley, and I'm gonna go Weatherford on this one.
Oof.
All right.
Support the Coastal Bend, Tony.
Hey, when you're behind, when you're behind like I am, you got to try to make the best pick to try to catch up. That's what I'm just trying to catch up right now.
Are you sure about that? Because
I'm playing from behind.
Oh wait, what's our overall record so far, Gabriel?
I don't have it. I got to do it tonight or tomorrow. I mean, if you have yours, I know you have yours. TJ, what's yours?
I do have mine.
Okay.
Tony, do you have yours? Because I want to hear y'all's first. Do you have yours, Gabriel?
I don't.
As long as you...
No, I don't have. I gotta add mine. I don't know. I
you went 7-5 the first game or the first week.
7-5 the second week. Yeah, but I don't know what I went this third week.
I think you went 8-4. I'm not too sure on that, but
that would be nice.
I went 8-4 last week. That's for sure.
I went 8-4.
So what's y'all's total?
I was 8-4 on this one.
So you started off with 6-6, I believe, and then or 7-5, and then you went
5, and then 6-6.
Oof.
And then 8-4.
You're slowly improving.
Yeah, well,
what is that? 21-15.
6 and 8 is 14 plus 7 is 21. Yeah, 21 and
15.
Yeah, 21 and 15.
So you're 21-15. Gabriel's probably 22-14. Well, I'm 23-13.
So Gabriel takes the win.
Huh?
He's ahead right now.
No, I'm just saying he doesn't have his yet.
No, I gotta check mine.
He's about to do his tally, and we gotta post our standings every week from now on.
But you're 23.
I'll check all of ours and I'll put it up on the gridiron. That's what we're supposed to be doing every week.
Yeah.
So I think TJ's still
I'm
ahead.
at 23-13 right now. That second week didn't do me any favors, so I'm
Me
kind
neither.
of desperate to win games right now.
So am I. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining in. And this evening, TJ will not be available next Monday. So Tony, if you are, it'll be me and you. We've talked about possibly going live here on out. So still some things we got to work out, but we are going to be making quite a few changes to the gridiron as we move forward. We're starting to stream some games as well. And so as we get close, as we do more of those streaming the games, we've got to make some changes here so that we don't all get worn out and going in and Gridiron now starting to stream some games, some of the games that we have on our list, and then coming in here and doing a podcast on Monday, and then we do part two or part three actually on Wednesday where we bring in interviews with coaches. There's a lot going on, so we got to split it, try to cut some time so we don't get worn out. So there'll be a couple of changes little by little, but we'll be making those changes. But TJ, are you going to be putting up your next week, your picks on the
Yeah.
live video?
Yeah, I'll put up my picks next week. Probably the Wednesday morning whenever I get off work. I'll post my live predictions on there since y'all will already be recapping and making y'all's predictions.
Right.
So yeah, as soon as I get home, I'll probably jump on live and just go ahead and give my predictions out next week. So tune into that, and also tune in next Monday as they're going to make their recap and prediction on each game this week. I wish I could be there Monday, but unfortunately I work nights. So
yeah. So like I said, just a lot of stuff that's going on. We're going to make some changes that's going to improve our podcast, our live stream, and hopefully you guys like it. So Tony, TJ, thank you very much, man. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys next week.
later, guys.
Take it